This satellite image from the port of Sevastopol in Crimea on May 21st shows trucks lined up near a Russian ship loading stolen Ukrainian grain. A Russian soldier who drove one of the trucks around this time explained the details of the smuggling operation.
Left the truck outside port. Had the driver take in, put wheat on ship, finish. 2 ships, 2 big ships. No more, please. I cannot speak no more.
In May, the U.S. State Department sent cables to several countries stating that 3 Russian ships, the Matros Pozenich, Matros Koshka, and Mikhail Nenashev, were suspected of transporting stolen Ukrainian grain, according to a senior European diplomat who viewed the cable. Russian officials have rejected such accusations. But we found these 3 ships are part of a smuggling route that Russia has been developing to transport stolen grain out of newly occupied areas of Ukraine and into Russian-allied countries in the Middle East. We analyzed telegram posts, satellite imagery, and ship transponder data, reviewed documents, and interviewed people involved in this illicit trade to reveal a 1,500-mile smuggling route that gives us a window into the broader network Russia has quietly assembled to transport hundreds of thousands of metric tons of grain out of Ukraine. Russia has done this all while obstructing Ukraine from exporting its own grain and seeds, up to 70 million metric tons per year, a large slice of the world's supply, much of which flows to the developing world. In recent weeks, Ukraine said Turkey detained a Russian ship with stolen Ukrainian grain, while accusations of war crimes and fears of a global food crisis have mounted. The main route we uncovered starts in southeastern Ukraine, in the occupied city of Kamyanka-Dniprovska, at one of the largest grain storage facilities in the region, run by a company we aren't naming. We found evidence of dozens of Russian-controlled trucks transporting grain from this facility since early May. The driver we interviewed, a soldier in the Russian army who said he doesn't want to fight in the war, told us that in late May, a Russian colonel ordered him to pick up a load of grain at this facility.
With many trucks, 15 trucks. I had the white Gamma truck, and I come in the morning. May 21, 22, Colonel put trucks up on line. We took wheat in, drive out.
Each truck can move around 10 to 50 metric tons of grain in a single haul. In photos from the facility that appear to be from early May reviewed by the Journal, we see trucks covered with tarps, Z's on the front, and concealed license plates. The Russian driver we interviewed confirmed that he and the other drivers in his caravan drove similar trucks. Less than 2 kilometers from the depot, this photo, posted to Facebook on May 19th by a local resident, shows trucks with the same characteristics: tarps and no license plates, headed away from the grain storage facility. In satellite imagery from June 11th, we see similar vehicles near the grain silos. 3 days later, we can see a line of them outside the facility and a few more in the parking lot as well. By June 22nd, there are over 30 of these trucks visible. The Russian driver said his convoy of trucks with stolen grain drove to Crimea on May 21st or 22nd.
I hear on radio we go to Sevastopol. Many hours, but go same day.
We also found evidence that another major grain storage facility in the region was taken over by the Russian military, seen here on March 26th. A satellite image from the same date and location shows what appear to be those same tanks. This letter, from an official installed by Russian forces, informed the company that their property was being seized. After the takeover, the company said they were still able to track their stolen trucks using GPS, which were loaded with grain and also driven into Crimea. At one of the facilities where grain was taken, we can see that a Z, a Russian pro-war symbol, has been marked on the roof. In addition to using truck drivers from the Russian army, drivers for these routes are also hired through messages posted to social media, like this May 24th telegram post by a logistics operator, advertising nearly 20 truck routes to transport grain, mostly from newly occupied Russian territory in Ukraine to Crimea. This is a route similar to the one our Russian driver took and offers about $30 per ton in pay. Ukraine's access to export routes out of Crimea has been largely cut off since the 2014 annexation. Now, in videos published over the last several weeks, we see long lines of trucks heading south into the region. Many resemble the trucks at the grain depot in Kamyanka-Dniprovska and fit the description given by people involved in the trade. Once in Crimea, the Russian driver said he and the other drivers dropped off the trucks at the Sevastopol port, where many tons of grain were unloaded to conveyor belts and then moved to waiting ships.
Left the truck outside port, had the driver take in, put wheat on ship.
In satellite imagery from Sevastopol on May 19th, 21st, and 23rd, we can see 3 different ships loading grain, the same ones listed in the State Department cable. The Matros Pozenich, Matros Koshka, and Mikhail Nenashev were all newly registered in the months before the war to a Russian state-owned company called Crane Marine Contractor LLC, according to a ship company database. Satellite images paired with ship tracking data from marine traffic show these same ships running regular routes from Crimea to the eastern Mediterranean since at least late March, often shutting off their transponders as they approach ports, likely in an effort to conceal their locations. For example, the Matros Pozenich disappears from tracking data near Istanbul on May 17th. We then see it being loaded with what looks like grain at the port in Sevastopol 2 days later. The ship's transponder restarts again on May 21st after it departs Sevastopol. Over the next 2 days, marine traffic data shows it passes through the Bosphorus Strait, which we can see in photos of the waterway from May 22nd. The ship's tracking is then turned off again as it nears its destination, with its last location reported on May 25th in the Mediterranean Sea between Turkey and Cyprus. Soon after, in Latakia, Syria, satellite imagery shows the ship docked and its contents being unloaded. Commodity brokers involved in the network say the grain was imported by a Syrian state-run grain company. After similar journeys from Sevastopol to the eastern Mediterranean, the Mikhail Nenashev docks in Turkey. The Matros Koshka goes dark for over a week, but reappears as it heads back towards the Black Sea. Crane Marine Contractor LLC and Syria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs did not respond to requests for comment. The Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. referred us to a prior statement made by the Russian ambassador to the U.S., in which he rejected accusations of grain theft. The frequency of thefts at grain facilities, combined with the repetition of these vessels' journeys and the sheer number of trucks traveling into Crimea, shows that Russia is working quickly to institutionalize its grain smuggling network. In our last conversation with a Russian truck driver in late June, he said he was waiting to receive orders for his next truck route.
I'm at the army station at the Sevastopol. I think I drive again for a week. We wait.